everybody, today let's check out the XJAM USB Midi performance controller from XJAM Audio. The XJAM is a really portable and ultra-thin USB-powered Midi controller. So in today's video, let's talk about the core features of the XJAM and how you can configure the XJAM and a few different use case scenarios like playing drums, basses and synths with the XJAM. First, a big thanks to Mike at XJAM Audio for sending me the XJAM. That said, they have no say over what I say or do in this video. Let's take a tour. So first, it features 16 ultra-sensitive backlit pads with a polyphonic aftertouch. And you also have 6 360 degrees rotary knobs. For the intro demo, I connect the XJAM with a bundled USB-C cable to my computer, but you can also use the MIDI output and connect to external synths and sound modules. And in my DAW Bitwig Studio, I'm running a software instrument track with Minds drums. Right, so as I mentioned, the XJAM is a MIDI controller, and that means it has no onboard sounds. You have to use this in combination with a software or a hardware synth or sound module to be able to generate sound. But lucky enough, you get a few softwares bundled with the XJAM, like Bitwig Studio 8 tracks, you have Wavelab LE10 and Cubase's LE. The build quality of this device is actually pretty great for being this cheap. I think at the making of this video it's 149 euros. The top plate of the XJAM is made of anodized aluminium, and then you have a plastic bottom. But overall it feels really sturdy. Now the pads is a little bit smaller than you might be used on something like a machine, but I actually feel that the size of the pads is quite great, especially for finger drumming, because with one hand like this you can reach between all the pads. And the most important thing, of course, is the sensitivity of the pads, which I feel is very nice. So I definitely feel I can play expressive and very delicate with these pads. Now the pads are backlit, so they will also show you what kind of velocity you trigger when you hit the pads, and the green is like a lower kind of velocity. And when they turn yellow, it's like a mid-high velocity, and then red when you trigger the highest velocities. Right, so now I'm playing the XJAM in the air like this, but you should of course put this on the table to get a more sturdy feel and more exact playing, but it actually works pretty well. Okay, so next up let's try out some synth sounds with the XJAM and also try out the rotary encoders. So in Bitwig Studio I have an instrument layer with two copies of the Zebra synth. And after the Zebra synth we have the Valhalla Supermassive delay plugin. And let's attach one of the rotary encoders to control the mix value of the reverb, or the Supermassive delay. So let's right-click the mix and select map to controller or key, and then we move the first rotary encoder. And now we can see that we can control the mix with this rotary encoder. Now if we make a very small and slow adjustments, we can really make detailed changes. And then if we move the encoder faster, you can make larger changes. Like so. Now the current setup on the XJAM, this is a chromatic keyboard. But you can, as I said earlier, change this to like a custom scale or something. So let's try it in action. Right, so let's give the polyphonic aftertouch a little test here in Logic Pro. And the polyphonic aftertouch means that we can have individual aftertouch on any of the pads at the same time. But of course it's possible to change most of the functions of the XJAM either directly on the device. It's a little bit tricky, but luckily you get this XJAM Editor that you can run on your PC or a Mac. They also have an iOS version, which is great. And then you can customize the XJAM exactly to your liking via the software. So here you can see if I press some of these pads, we can see the note number, you get to see the Midi channel, which you can change. It's set to global by default. And you can also change it to one of the 4 message types. You can either set it to note, Midi CC, program change, and MMC. And the XJAM has different scenes and banks, so you can recall these if you want to have different settings for, say, different instruments, maybe different drum kits, etc. So you can really customize the XJAM to maybe control some of your MIDI rig with some of the scenes, and then some of the scenes or banks control some of your drum kits. So here we could easily change the note number to be D2 instead of C1. And now it's triggering a splash instead of the kick. With the XJAM Editor, we can also look at the global settings. Here we can change the pad threshold, and you can see there's tons of different parameters that we can change, how the dynamic behavior should be of the pads. Now, with my playing here in the demo song for the intro, I just used the default settings, which I thought worked pretty well. And you can also change the dynamic curve. And I think they have a few different curve settings, but I think that the dynamic curve 1 works really well for my typical finger drumming. Another great feature of the XJAM is the beat repeat function. So you can hold the repeat button here and any of the pads, and it will be repeated with a set division. Now you can either use the internal clock of the XJAM, or you can sync it to an external clock source. And in my demo here, I'm syncing it to the clock of Bitwig Studio. And I have the division set to 8 notes. And as you can see, it also responds to the velocity, the aftertouch velocity. Now I really wish we could change the division in real time. With the current firmware and software with the XJAM, we have to change the division either via the XJAM software or go into the setup screen here and press division, and then we can change the division. It's currently to 8 notes, but we can set it to 16 notes instead. And then press OK, which is the button to the top right here. And we can see with the flashing green light there that it's right in that setting. So now if I trigger the DAW and do some repeats, it will be a much faster division, a faster repetition. But I really wish I could attach that division parameter to maybe use some of the knobs here to change the division in real time, which is really useful for like trap beats when you want to change the time division from 8 notes to 16 notes and maybe triplets in real time while you have it synced to a DAW. That would be a really excellent feature if ESI would add that to the XJAM. Right, some final thoughts on the XJAM. So I definitely feel that this is a sturdy MIDI controller. It's definitely small and sleek, but still feels sturdy in the hands. Now you could see it's a really nice grip here for finger drumming and live performing with the XJAM. Holding it like this. And if you still need to mount this on a mic stand or something, there's a little screw hole on the backside here, so you can mount it on a mic stand if you need to have a more sturdy setup. Right, so personally I'm definitely going to have this in my backpack when I need to travel or go to NAMM or something. And like I said, there's some really sweet music applications bundled with the XJAM if you're starting out and this is like your first MIDI controller and introduction into music production. Then you get Bitwig Studio 8 tracks, Wavelabs LE and Cubase's LE, so you can definitely just buy this package and get started making music. Right, so that's all for today. If you have any more questions or comments or feedback, let me know in the comment section. If you want to check out and learn more about the XJAM, you can use my affiliate link in the description to this video. And that way, if you purchase the XJAM, you also support my content here on YouTube. Thanks for watching today. My name is Mattias and see you in the next video. Bye.